What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Yo, what's up, Dark Mage? How's it going?
That's where he's the go.
10 months from Sleepy? Let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Let me fix my camera here. All right. Last time I was building my wolf scouts. Now I'm painting them. I've already gotten a pretty good amount done. So I started with using only the airbrush, actually. Something that I've always known about, but I never really used before, was that a lot of airbrushes have a component in the back that prevents you from pulling back the needle a certain amount. So you can adjust it to essentially make it so that your spray pattern is smaller and tighter as you need it. So I was experimenting with that to get a lot of their armor painted. So you can see you got those really nice smooth airbrush highlights on all the blue. It worked out pretty well. I did have some issues getting when I got really small, and I was doing a really bright color like Ulthuan Gray. My airbrush kept clogging, and I had to unclog it a lot, which was really annoying. Is that specific to your airbrush, or can all do it? I don't think all airbrushes can do it, but I think most can. I think it's a fairly common feature in airbrushes. Actually, let's see if my other airbrush has. No, so I also have the Badger Patriot, which is one that I used for oops.
Mr. Fisk. He had a great quote that said, "Rest at the end, not in the middle."
Which is one that I use for less detailed work.
I'm not gonna rest. I'm gonna keep on pushing now. There's a lot of answers.
And this one does not.
I don't have. So. Even questions that I don't have. But I'm just gonna keep going.
But this airbrush was
and I'll figure these things out as we go, right? And you just continue to build.
$20, $30.
So I try to live by that.
So
Rest at the end. Rest at the end.
It was a fairly inexpensive airbrush in the first place. Yeah, so this is the Wolfpack leaders, the one that I have the most done. The rest of them, I'm still working on getting a lot of the base colors down. But yeah, it was fairly quick to get them to this point because I was using only the airbrush. And then I also did an oil wash to get all the recesses. So, and the oil wash didn't work out the best. There's some places where the oil wash stuck around, which is kind of annoying. But that's okay. I'm gonna have to go through because the blue armor's not quite done. I still have to do some edge highlighting and stuff. So I'm fairly happy with how it looks for the time invested, and I'll have to do some touch-ups and more highlighting anyway. All right. let me grab more paints. Hey, what's up, Dark Mage? How's it going? All right. Yes, I think I'm gonna start off by blocking in the last couple of colors. Set up table, doing some hobbying. All right, all right. What are you hobbying on today? Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah. Thank you. Do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving in Britain? I know Evil said they don't really celebrate Thanksgiving in Germany, but no, you don't. Got it. I assumed it was just an American holiday, but I wasn't sure. Because it's also one of those things where you just like get together and eat a lot of food. So, you know, there's not a whole lot to the holiday anyway. Other than it's a very specific type of food that you eat. Just some boring old Crimson Fists? That's not too boring. What unit specifically are you getting ready? Did you get the new Assault Terminator box? You didn't? Got it. I didn't get it either. I have enough models to paint. I don't need 20 more Terminators. Just regular intercessors. Got it. Thinking of picking up the Drukhari Battle Force box? I don't need another 38 models on my desk. Yeah, facts. Like, could I? Yeah. Should I? No. Probably not. Yeah, so yeah, most of the painting that I did for this Dark Mage was with my airbrush, and I used the limiter, which like limits how far back you can pull the needle, and then that limits the size of your spray pattern. It's the first time I've kind of actually used it. And it worked out like really nicely. Does that affect PSI? It does not. It affects, it just affects how far back you can pull the needle. And because the nozzle is a cone, the amount that you pull back the needle affects how big the spray pattern is. So yeah, some things to note with that is that you generally want your paint to be a little bit thinner and have a little bit lower PSI, so that you can get in closer to the model without it like getting that spider web effect that happens if you have like too high PSI and you're too close to the model. But yeah, it makes for fairly quick, volumetric highlights on armor and stuff. I want to start on army ideas that I've been putting off for the holidays. Yeah. Let's see here. Little bit of gold. finally my part came in from eBay. So here's the finished Rune Scald. The big piece being the head from the new Space Wolves Rune Priest model. But yeah, so not too much work on this guy, converting him up, just like, you know, swapping out the sword for a staff, the new head, and then the backpack, which required a little bit of work to get the I don't know, the fur patched on to the back, but nothing too crazy. So I'll have to prime him up. Sadly, he's very far behind the rest of my little scouts, but that's okay. But yeah, I actually played my first game with the Wolf Scouts yesterday. I actually played Kill Team on Tabletop Simulator, also for the first time yesterday. So lots of things, lots of new experiences yesterday for Kill Team. I think the Tabletop Sim Kill Team is pretty good. I definitely have to get better at like working in Tabletop Sim. But it's pretty nice. Got a nice base coat for our gold there. I'm gonna put another layer on the yellow because, as always, yellow takes a million layers. So some of the shoulder pads have a nice solid yellow on them, but others do not. I did try the pink undercoat with the yellow, and it worked pretty well. I also tried like masking things off and like using my airbrush to like spray on like a nice volumetric highlight with the pink as well. That didn't work out too well. But yeah, one thing I learned is you definitely have to go paler with the pink. Like you want to push the pink you want to push a pretty good amount of white into the pink. I think, especially if you're like, I was using Imperial Fist's contrast paint over the pink, and the colors I used were like hot pink from Monument Hobbies, from Louise's set. And I think that was too strong of a pink. The Imperial Fist contrast paint didn't quite cover it. But in the areas where I had mixed white in, it looked very nice. It was a very nice yellow. So a little bit paler. I could probably leave some parts with the hot pink. But yeah, I think in general I had there was too much hot pink there. And then I messed it all up and am now just base coating it with orange yellow from Monument Hobbies. My favorite yellow to base coat with. It's been a little bit of a journey for these shoulder pads. there's a few layers of paint on here, which like was whatever, right? There's no detail on them anyway, so. And then I started trying some like some Space Wolves like, I don't know, heraldry, would you call it? Cool shoulder pad symbols, which I think turned out pretty well, especially on the pack leader where he's got the fur on the top anyway. For their left shoulder pads, let me see, where are the transfers? Space Wolf transfers. Did I lose them? God, I have a lot of transfer sheets. Honestly, I'm gonna have to get like a file cabinet to like organize all my transfer sheets. Oh, how did I guess a transfer sheet comes with every like Aspect Warrior box I've gotten, but like my goodness, do I have a lot of Eldari transfer sheets. Never in a million years will I use this many Eldari transfers. Like, my goodness. Alright, here's a generic Space Marine one that has Space Wolf stuff on it, which should be good. Because I think mostly I'm gonna be using the a pretty standard Space Wolves chapter icon on their shoulders, and then maybe some of these runes as well, like on their knee pads and stuff. But I did get a transfer sheet specifically for the Wolf Scouts, so if I could find it, that'd be great. Alright, I got it. It's at my other desk. See here. Yeah, I guess I'm doing the black mains. Not that I know what that means, but you know, all good. And then I'm gonna snag some of these nice, like, little runes from the Spirit Wolves section. Now I'm gonna finish off like the tufts of fur that are on, you know, all their backpacks and such. You can see I already did this. This was my test model. As per usual, I like to test on the leader because why not? So you can kind of see, and this was actually, I did this based off of a Trevelyan video actually. My camera will focus. So essentially you start with like a light tan, and then you glaze in like a darker brown until you get all the way to black. And then you kind of highlight the black a little bit with like a light gray. It looks really nice, not gonna lie. Especially on the larger pelt. And then I also did it here on the wolf itself. And I think for the wolf, I have to push the lighter tan a little bit lighter, and you know I still have to do the kind of the gray highlights and stuff. But I think it looks good so far. I think it's a nice way to make the fur more interesting. Yeah. Especially on the wolf, since it's just fur, right? Like might need a new screaming skull soon. I don't know if it's just the minis that I paint, but I use a lot of Screaming Skull. Alright, now we got our nice sepia shade out. Another crowd favorite. By crowd favorite, I just mean it's my favorite. I'm also gonna do a quick Reichland flesh shade on all the gold. Although I do need to do a bit of touch up on the gold. I will say, so in like a second here, I'm gonna start doing the leather as well. The last couple times I've done leather, I haven't been too like satisfied with it. So I think I'm gonna spend a little bit more time and focus on the leather to make sure that I'm getting it to a good spot that I'm happy with. I think the main thing is that, yeah, I like doing leather in that like kind of scratchy fashion, where a lot of the highlights are built up through like scratch marks in the leather. I think that's really cool. But sometimes I don't know where the scratches should go, and sometimes I'm not super happy with the placement. Or like I put too many scratches and then it doesn't really look like leather anymore. So I think this will be a good time to do a little bit of experimenting, especially with the amount of leather that's on these models. I've just spilled an entire pot. No! Now in hobby depression? Yeah. Bro, that sucks. Imperial Fist Contrast Paint is a good one too. Rip the homie. Yeah, I 3D printed these pot holders, and I never, like, anything that's taller than the base Citadel paint pot, I never open it without the holder anymore, because I've spilled way too many contrast paints and shades. Like, it's just ruined my mouse mat. No! Damn. That's tragic. At least you didn't, like, spill it on your keyboard, right? Because, like... I've spilled stuff on my keyboard before and, like, broken my keyboard, and that's the worst. What kind of mouse pad do you have? Think I will call hobbying there for the night? Yeah, fair enough. What's up, Evil? How's it going? I'm doing alright. The Freerin design? Oh man. Testing some painting schemes for your new Tau? Sheesh! What kind of schemes are you going for? Base color the Fang? Okay. was gonna need another coat of yellow. I can't start testing it yet. Or I can't start shading it yet. It's a little sloppy with the black on the bottom trim. Also testing rust gray and Fenrisian gray as base colors. Yeah. So you're going for like a, well, like this kind of color. Right? That's pretty cool. Do you have ideas for like what other colors, like your like for your like secondary colors and stuff to go with it? Not that guy. Don't know which secondary colors? Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep it fairly simple, yellow and red are good options. Just to, yeah, to keep things like really simple, because then you're just, you know, messing with like the 3 primary colors, which tends to look nice. Tested on 3 crisis suits, yeah, sounds good. But yeah, I think especially on Tau, I think that like that bluish gray and like a nice red would look good. But yeah, you'll have to test it out and post it in the work in progress Discord so we can see. Black and yellow hazard stripe Tau? Yeah, you can think, yeah, facts. That would be lit. I mean, I'm always a fan of some black and yellow hazard stripes. Don't think I'll ever want to buy contrast paint again. Yeah. But it's really good paint, is the only thing. Maybe this can be a push to buy, like, the Army Painter speed paints. I've heard those are pretty good. I'm gonna try out some different, brands of speed paints. I did purchase for Army Painter, and it's coming next week. Nice. You have to tell me how those are. I've been hearing a lot of really good things about the newer sets of Army Painter. So yeah, you'll have to tell me how they are. I also bought some of the new Vallejo True Metallic Metal. Nice. I haven't heard anything about those, but hopefully they're good. I feel like metallics, like metallic paints, I feel like across all brands have been getting much better recently. Some new, you know, metallic paints technology. People have been getting better about at making them, so. So you're not doing anything too crazy with the yellow shoulder pad, with the yellow on the shoulder pads, because, you know, I'll be putting the transfer on this one, and I'll be doing like some like markings on the other one, like this guy over here. So just a little bit of shading and highlighting to get like a nice little gradient, add a little bit of interest in there. 3 colors. Orange, yellow, Uriel yellow, and then shading with Cassandora yellow. I've heard the best metallic range ever made. Holy, that's some high praise. Yeah, you'll have to tell me how those are for sure, because you know I really like steel from Monument Hobbies. But hey, if the new Vallejo metallics are better, that could be really cool. I got the Arcane Gold and Obsidian Black metallics. That sounds awesome. What is Arcane Gold? Is that just like a deep yellow gold? Obsidian Black also sounds awesome. It's like a brown gold. Got it. Obsidian Black is like lead belcher shaded with Nulno straight out of the bottle. Nice. That sounds like a great color. What do you think about Fang as a base color? Oh, let me check it out real quick. Yeah, I think it looks very nice as a base color. Maybe with some orange. Orange would be a good idea. I don't know how you feel about doing doing some like stripes on the panels, but I know like Tau tends to have some cool markings like on the larger flat panels. One pretty good way to get stripes is if you can snag some Tamiya masking tape. It can help you get some like really nice crisp you know, both hazard stripes or like cool markings for your towel. Let's see here. Another option for sure is like, since I have a box with Tau on it, you see like they have like a segment of their shoulder pad is a secondary color. I think that's another great way to do it. That's probably a lot easier than, you know, the masking tape method. But yeah, if you did like, you know, if you want to try like orange or red for like a shoulder pad, I think that looks sick. Yeah, sounds good. Doing 50-50 scheme on Tau always bangs as well if you feel like it's too flat. Yeah. Is that just like you, like down the middle 50-50? Like left side is rust gray, right side is orange? That sounds like it'd be a banger color scheme. Should I use the Fang or should I test Rust Gray and Fenrisian Gray? I feel like you should, if you want to, something that looks really nice, especially on Tau, is edge highlighting. Because they have those like nice sharp corners on all their panels. So if you want to try some edge highlighting with like, because the Fang is darker than I don't have the Fang on hand actually, but I think both Rust Gray and Fenrisian Gray are brighter. So if you want to try some edge highlighting with like Rust Gray and Fenrisian Gray, I think that would look really good too. The main thing with edge highlighting, that kind of thing, is like, I'll use this cork for an example since it has like a really nice sharp corner. You can just take like the side of your brush and run it along the edge. And that should catch just the edge. But yeah, if you're down for that kind of thing, it'll definitely be time consuming, but it tends to look really nice. Yeah, of course. You could also dry brush it, if that's more up your alley. A nice dry brush of like rust gray and Fenrisian gray would also look really nice. Now that I've got the like little fur tufts done, I'm gonna be moving on to the leather here. Forgot to mention earlier because I was painting. The fur looks awesome. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, if you want to see, like I recommend Trevarion's. He made a video where he was painting Space Wolves, and that's where I got it from. And it looks really nice, and it's like not that hard to do. Cause yeah, you just paint it like I did like this green brown from Monument Hobbies, but you could do like Morghast Bone, and then do some Screaming Skull towards the edges, and then you just shade inward with like, yes, like a sepia shade, and then like I thinned down some Cygor brown, but you could use like Agrax Earth shade, and then it's just black in the middle, and you just highlight up with a little bit of gray. I used acrylics, yeah. Yeah, it was all acrylics. So works, you know, pretty much the same. Comes out to a similar effect. This is a funky song, yeah. I found a new playlist. It's like DMCA free jazz, and I was like, you know, let's try it out. kind of cool. I don't know if it's better than the one I had on before. But it's not bad. Oh, gotta get going? Yeah. I hope you have a great rest of your day, Dark Mage. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe I'll do some rank markings with colors. That's also a good idea. Gold for commander, red for heavy, light blue for infantry. Yeah, that sounds great. We've been invaded. All right. Alright, I think I got the leather in a pretty good spot here. I think the last thing I'm gonna do today is a little bit of shading on the sword here on this guy. Gonna thin down some Gryph-Charger Gray. Start glazing some color into here. Might have gone a little bit thin on the Gryph-Charger Gray, which is alright. It'll just take a few more layers to build up the color that I'm looking for here. so you can kind of see the effect starting to come in, where we're just kind of picking out half the blade and making it, you know, a little bit darker, so that we're kind of so we're like, you know, highlighting the other part of the blade because we made, you know, half of it so dark. Kind of highlighting the shape of the blade too, bringing it, making it pop out a little bit. I'm also going to take some thinned down Black Templar here and do the same kind of thing, but a lot more careful with the Black Templar because it is very dark. Alright, I think that's where I'm gonna end it for the day. Yeah, as you can see, starting to get pretty close to being done. Especially with the pack leader here. Some things I still need to do on the pack leader are like the red gems. And the head, for sure. And then some little effects like the power, like the plasma coils and such. Get a little glow effect going there. Yeah. And the rest of the squad is also coming along. Of course, they still need a pretty good amount of work, but they at least have like all the base coats down, and I did like the furs done and all that, so. Yeah, as always, thank you for watching. I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow. So hopefully I will see you all then. Until next time though, I hope you all have a great rest of your day.